Zamfara government says shame to conflict entrepreneurs, power-seeking politicians face returning to state. Senator Modu Sheriff pulls out of APC national chairmanship race. Security operatives denies Governor Rufa'I access to presidential villa. And business queues persist in northern states despite 1.824 billion liters fuel supply. And on foreign news, Mali records highest cotton production on African continent. And on sports, Barcelona trashed Real Madrid 4-0 in El Clasico. Hello there, thanks for joining us. That was the headlines for Standard Voice Television News. I am Mohammed Ibrahim Dusara and here are the news in full. In spite of activities of unpatriotic conflict entrepreneurs, Zamfara State will soon reclaim its lost glory as one of the most peaceful states in the country. This was expressed by the state government, represented by the State Commissioner of Information, Honorable Ibrahim Magaji Dusara, and the Commissioner of Security and Home Affairs, DIG Ibrahim Mamanzafi, retired, at joint conference of Zamfara State Affairs in Kaduna on Saturday, March 19, 2022. Unknown to many Nigerians, apart from bandits, some unpatriotic conflict entrepreneurs, politicians, hell-bent to sabotage peace process out of their selfish desire either to gain power or to deter the successes of His Excellency, inconsiderate of the consequences of their action to Zamfara State and its citizenry. For more on the story, Mercy Mangal reports.
Speaking at the press conference, the Commissioner announced that soon Zamfara State will regain back its lost glory as one of the states in forefront, the most peaceful states in the Federation. They added that they may interest you all to note that there is relative peace in almost all the northern parts of the state. With some few skirmishes here and there, they hold the belief that to succeed 100% in making crime-free state will never be a one-day affair. According to the commissioners, the government and people of Zamfara are nowadays very peaceful as peace returns back to their community gradually. To better this claim, recently the Zamfara state government hosted a moment crowd in Gusau, the state capital, from within and outside the state, who came and lived in Gusau for a week without a single act of banditry against their visitors. Similarly, ceremony where the daughter of a prominent politician in Gusau got married to another prominent personality in Abuja, with heavy turnout from people across all states of the Federation. They added that not a single visitor was victimized either on his way coming or going back to his destination. I am Mangal Mercy Ilya, reporting for SVTV News.
No fewer than 20 persons have been killed by bandits in Ghana Kiawa village of Adabka district, Bukuyum local government area of Zamfara State. The latest attack happened on Sunday morning at about 8:30 a.m. when the gunmen stormed the community and started shooting sporadically, killing 20 persons, including the village head. Newsmen gathered that the bandits also attacked some surrounding villages, looted shops, and carted away some valuable. A source from the area who pleaded anonymity said that communities under Adabka ward have been witnessing a series of attacks and abduction from the bandits. Police authorities in the state are yet to confirm the latest attack. Former Governor of Borno State, Senator Modu Sheriff, has pulled out of the All Progressive Congress national chairmanship race, saying he doesn't want to oppose the zoning formula of the party as they have agreed to zone the position to the North Central. Briefing journalists on Sunday in Abuja, Senator Sheriff said he has respect for the leader of the party, President Muhammadu Buhari, and so he will not continue in the race. He said he respects the president as his leader and he must have a reason why the national chairman is zoned to the North Central. Therefore, he will no longer contest unless the party leadership decides to throw it open between now and Friday. He thanked his campaign team for their steadfastness, noting that except the party reveals its zoning formula, he is no longer contesting. The National Convention is expected to hold on March 26th. According to the statement, the position of the Deputy National Chairman has been allocated to the Southeast Zone. The ruling party said the zoning arrangement was adopted at the March 8, 2022 regular meeting of the Caretaker Extraordinary Convention Planning Committee. The House of Representatives Committee on Public Accounts has written to the Group Managing Director of the defunct Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, now Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, Mr. Mele Kyari, over audit queries issued against the NNPC and its subsidiaries. The committee, which had accused the NNPC of shielding its 17 subsidiaries in the efforts to get them to respond to the queries on their expenses from 2014 to 2019, has now asked the General Managing Director of the NNPC to produce their heads at specific dates. The chairman of the committee, Oluwole Oke, issued the summons in a letter to Kyari dated March 16, 2022. Entitled Consideration of the Auditor General for the Federation's Annual Reports and Federation Accounts 2014 to 2019 financial year and non-rendition of audited accounts by the NNPC subsidiaries covering the period 2014 to 2019 to the Auditor General Office. For more on the story, over now to our correspondent, Zainab Abdul Wasiu.
The letter read in part, pursuant to Section 85, 88 and 89 of the 1999 Constitution as amended and other XX Rule 6 of the House of Representatives Standing Order. I write to again request you to provide all the managing directors of the following 17 NNPC subsidiaries with their accounting officers to appear before the committee and answer all issues raised against them in the above subject matter. The subsidiaries include the Nigerian Petroleum Development Company Limited, Kaduna Refining and Petrochemical Company Limited, Pipeline and Products Marketing Company Limited, Duke Oil Company, West African Gas Limited, and Nidas Marine Limited, which are to appear on Wednesday, March 23, 2022. Also, Isen Nigerian Limited, Nigerian Gas Company, National Engineering and Technical Company, National Petroleum Exchange, NNPC Pension Limited, Warri Refining and Petrochemical Company are to appear on Thursday, March 24, 2022. Those to appear on Friday, March 25 are Port Harcourt Refining Company, the NNPC Retained Limited, Integrated Data Service Limited, National Petroleum Investment and Management Services, and Petroleum Products Pricing Regulatory Agency. The committee asks those summoned to provide copies of their audited account from 2015 to 2021 in compliance with Financial Regulation Number 3210 and evidence of submission of copies to the Office of the Auditor General Office of the Federation. I am Zainab Abdul Wasiu reporting for Standard Voice Television News.
The Auditor General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, has approved a request by the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency for the confiscation of DCP Abba Kyari and his co-accused assets. It was gathered that the NDLEA's request, which was dispatched to the Justice Ministry penultimate week, had received the AGF's nod. With this development, the former Commander Inspector General of Police Intelligence Response Team and his accomplices may lose their assets, cash and money in bank accounts, vehicles, real estates, notably hotels, residential and commercial buildings, personal effects such as wristwatches, jewelry, and other valuable possessions. The Punch had reported last week that about 4.2 billion naira was traced to Kyari and his co-accused ACP Sunday Uber's bank account. The NDLEA had on March 7th arraigned Kyari, Ubwa, and 4 members of the IRT, Sunday Ubia, Bawa James, Simon Agirigba, and John Nuhu, on 8 counts of conspiracy, obstruction, and dealing in cocaine and other related offences before the Federal High Court, Abuja. Borno State Governor Professor Babagana Umar Zulum on Sunday led key stakeholders on humanitarian visit to Gwaza local government area, with assessments of reconstruction works in Kirawa ahead of resettling conflict-displaced citizens in the border community. Governor Zulum was accompanied by personalities from Guza, who included Senator Muhammad Ali Indume, the member of House of Representatives representing Guza, Dambuwa and Chibuk Federal Constituency, Ahmed Usman Jaha, the member representing Guza at the State Assembly, Abdullahi Buba Abacha, and the former chairman of Guza Local Government Area, Abdullahi Danjatu. Residents of Kirawa were forced by Boko Haram attacks to flee to border areas in neighboring Cameroon in the wake of the destruction of their homes and public facilities. Governor Zulum, in response, had set up a committee headed by the State's Commissioner for Housing and Energy, Engineer Saleh Vongas, who hails from Guza, charged with resettling displaced citizens in Kirawa and Ungushi towns in both in Guza. Newsmen gathered that the outspoken Kaduna State Governor, Malam Nasir El-Rufa'I, has been denied access to meet with President Muhammadu Buhari by the tiger-looking security operatives responsible to give Mr. President's close body protection. A source who begged for anonymity at the Police Gate Presidential Villa said that allowing Kaduna State Governor El-Rufa'I to see Mr. President at this moment means giving a fisherman an electric hook to catch any fish of his choice. The report stated that, as at the time of filing these reports, El-Rufa'I was reported to have left the villa to his personal residence. And in business news, the queues by motorists for premium motor spirits, popularly called petrol, particularly in Abuja and northern states, have refused to clear despite the supply of about 1.824 billion litres of petrol by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited. Also, the NNPC on Sunday denied claims that it had revealed the ex-coastal, ex-depot, and the NNPC retail prices for petrol downward. It described the claims as fake news in a series of tweets via its official Twitter handle. According to them, figures obtained by our correspondents from the company on Sunday showed that between February 14th and March 13th, 2022, the oil firm released a total of 1.824 billion litres of petrol in a bid to keep the country wet with petrol. But the queues in filling stations, which were triggered by the imports of adulterated fuel in January this year, refused to disappear and had persisted for about 2 months. For more on the story, Mercy Mangal reports.
Meanwhile, the presence of black marketers who sell petrol in jerry cans is currently a normal sight in Abuja, as some filling stations in the capital city now dispense PMS far above the approved price of 162 to 165 naira per litre. A filling station in Kubwa, Khalif Civil Oil and Investment Limited, for instance, dispensed petrol at 280 naira per litre on Sunday and still had queues of motorists, while a few major outlets that had products were greeted with massive queues. Petrol supply data from the NNPC indicated that the oil firm distributed in a total of 387.59 million litres of PMS from February 14 to February 20, 2022, in its bid to bridge the petroleum supply gap. The NNPC also stated that it evacuated 381.88 million litres of petrol between February 21 to February 26, 2022, adding that from February 28 and March 6, 2022, it supplied a total of 538 million litres of PMS. The company went ahead to state that it evacuated a total of 514.69 million litres of petrol between March 7 and 13, 2022. This brings the total supply during the 1 month period to 1,824 billion litres. However, Despite efforts by the FAME to keep the country wet with petrol, the queues in the nation's capital has refused to clear, as well as in some other locations across the country. The NNPC said it remained focused and determined to reposition itself to provide value to its shareholders while meeting its statutory obligation as a provider of energy security for Nigeria. I am Mangal Mercy Ilya, reporting for SVTV News.
And on international news, Mali records highest cotton production on African continent. The president of the transition, Assimi Goïta, declared the record production on Saturday, figures that place Mali as the top cotton producer on the African continent. According to the government's record production was made possible by maintaining a subsidy on agricultural inputs, maintaining a minimal shift in the cost of cotton, seen among other initiatives. In September 2021, the United States Department of Agriculture had indicated in its report that Mali will be the largest cotton producer in Africa for the 2021/2022 season, followed by Benin, Côte d'Ivoire, and Burkina Faso. The document noted that Mali planted a record 795,000 hectares, up 630,000 hectares from last year's crop. In addition, the U.S. reports explained that Côte d'Ivoire also planted a record 460,000 hectares, while Benin and Burkina Faso each planted more than 600,000 hectares this year. And on sports news, Barcelona's Gabonese midfielder Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang celebrates with teammates after scoring a goal during the Spanish League football match between Real Madrid and FC Barcelona at the Santiago Bernabeu Stadium in Madrid. Xavi-led FC Barcelona trounced Real Madrid 4-0 in the La Liga El Clasico played on Sunday, as Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang scored twice at Real Madrid's home ground, the Santiago Bernabeu. Madrid, coached by Carlo Ancelotti, were without Karim Benzema, their star man and hero, against Paris Saint-Germain in the second leg of the round of 16 Champions League match against the Parisian side. The match was billed as a test of Barca's progress under Xavi Hernandez, and they passed with flying colours, a humiliation of their fiercest rivals, suggesting they are primed to challenge again for La Liga next season. That's all for today's news, but before we go, a quick look at the major headlines. Zamfara government says shame to conflict entrepreneurs, power-seeking politicians face returning to states. Senator Ali Modu Sheriff pulls out of APC national chairmanship race. Security operatives denies Governor Rufa'I access to presidential villa. And business queues persist in northern states despite 1.824 billion liters raw supply. And on foreign news, Mali records highest cotton production on African continent. And on sports, Barcelona trashed Real Madrid 4-0 in El Clasico. That was a recap on the major headlines. Thanks for watching. On behalf of the production crew, head of news and current affairs, I still remain Rahma Ibrahim Joshua, and do have a nice day and keep watching Standard Voice Television News.